Welcome to the Midwest Angler Podcast. This is episode 50.
50.
Episode 50.
There we go.
Did you notice that I did a different...
I like that intro. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was something different. Yeah. I don't know. I always say the exact same thing, so I thought, hey, I'm going to kind of change it up. But I couldn't make it too complex.
No.
Or I'd screw it up.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah. So would I if I would have done it. Oh. I thought, after last week, having all the music and stuff playing, I thought about having a little 50 Cent playing it for episode 50. So.
Into club.
Yeah.
We could have made it into basement.
Kind of take you back to your days of big rims,
big
and
wheels and long hair and
subs and
Carmelo Anthony jerseys and just sweet
he's still
stuff.
Playing.
Yeah. Oh man. No, Thanksgiving is officially behind us.
It is over.
Cyber Monday today.
Cyber Monday. Ooh.
Cyber Monday.
Everybody's not going to be working very much today.
You getting after any sweet deals?
Maybe if I see something. No. I don't really know what's out there until that day. I don't really look ahead.
No.
If something pops up, there's been a couple things. I don't know. I started actually getting a lot of advertisements for like summer equipment. And as weird as it is, it's just like, why would I buy it now? It's kind of a part of me. I do buy it right now because I mean, you get killer deals on them. And,
yep.
And then it won't. In all reality, when spring rolls around, it's going to kind of be like, man, I wish I would have bought it back then.
Yep.
But, yeah, it is what it is.
Right.
You got your eye on anything for Cyber Monday?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that if something pops up that I won't go after it, but no, I definitely don't have my eye on anything as of right now.
Right.
But no, Thanksgiving is behind us, like I said. Matt, are you a turkey guy?
I do enjoy turkey.
Do you really?
I do. I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, it's Thanksgiving, I'm about to throw down on all this turkey. I just, I enjoy it.
Really?
Yeah.
So what if you come over to my house and I've just done up a nice turkey, it is looking good, and I've got ham next to it, and I've got, say, a ribeye, a big slab of ribeye. What are you going for?
All three.
That's a good answer. That is a good answer right there.
I didn't get this body by not taking all these chances on all three of them.
You're just huge.
I mean, come on now. I'm going all three. I was thinking about that, this time of year when class is over, with my classes for PE in the afternoons with the little kids, I always ask them, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food? What are you most looking forward to? And things like that as they leave the gym. And, a lot of them did say ham.
Really?
And I'm just ham sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm way more of a ham guy or any sort of beef guy than turkey. I'm just not a turkey guy. I think the main problem is turkey always seems so dry to me.
Yeah, it can be.
You got to have a glass of water with you just to get it down.
Or soak it in gravy.
Yeah, that and that goes with all.
Yeah, the gravy kind of covers the whole plate.
All right, so with that, what is your favorite side dish to go along with a Thanksgiving dinner?
I am just a good old-fashioned stuffing guy.
Really? You like stuffing, too?
Yeah, I like stuffing. Emily's mom makes, a stuffing and has, sausage in it.
Really?
Like ground sausage.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. Kind of makes a wet stuffing, dressing, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
I do enjoy that because it's about the only time of the year I really eat it.
Right. No, I'm not a stuffing guy. I just that's not my deal. I don't know. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody who is a stuffing person, but
and I don't think anybody's going to hold it against you if you do.
Well, thank God, thank God, because I was wondering I wonder how many people. Yeah, I wonder how many people just exited this podcast.
At
what?
Scott Stern.
Yeah, this dude ain't for stuffing. I'm out of here.
What's your favorite side dish? Then?
Oh, for sure.
What you chowed down on pretty good this last week?
Potatoes and corn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get some meat and then you mix a bunch of potatoes and a bunch of corn all together. And you just have a huge mound of mashed potatoes with meat and corn in it. That's
can't go wrong.
No, that's the best meal there is, really. No. So also with Thanksgiving behind us, Matt, next up is Christmas.
Christmas is going to be here before we know it. I'm one of those. Are you a wait till the end to shop, or do you get your shopping done early?
Oh, I'm gonna wait till the end.
So am I. It's all of a sudden, Emily's like, Yeah, you realize that Christmas is next week, don't you? I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run up Sioux Falls night.
Got it. It's on order.
Yeah. It's just like, oh no.
You know, me and Kayla actually share an Amazon account, so that kind of does up. You know, I can't buy anything for her on Amazon, and so I'm kind of a gift card person. Like
Right.
the day before Christmas, I'll quick run downtown to my sister-in-law's decorating store and get her a gift card the day before. And oh yeah, I've had this planned for a long time. Oh yeah,
I bought this back in July already.
yeah, I've been waiting for this day. Nope.
We've kind of gone away from like getting a lot of gifts for each other. We just kind of we'll do some stocking stuffer. Actually, that's the hardest for me is finding like little stocking stuffers.
Really, the big ticket items would be easier, but the
Right.
smaller stuff is
Because it's like this is when Emily says this kind of gives me a list and an idea of what I like she'd like. It's like okay, this is easy. But it's just like, you know, like for stocking stuffers, you know, just stuff like this. And it's just like, oh, no. You go to the store and it's just kind of like, okay, that looks like it would be kind of neat. That looks kind of like it would be fun.
just buy her a bunch of Rapalas.
That's what I would think. That's what I tell her to do. And she's like, that's boring. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, that's not boring.
And she's like, which color? It doesn't matter.
Yep. Nope.
And they, you know, and she makes that point to me, like when she goes to the tackle store, you know, to the bait shop or wherever the store, and goes to the Rapala aisle, and it's just like, holy buckets, how do you choose from which one to get? It's like there's no bad
They're all
choices.
good. They're all good. You got your Christmas tree up already?
No.
No.
You know me, I'm an anti-Christmas guy until after Thanksgiving. I don't think Thanksgiving gets the credit it deserves. Emily knows, like, she'll start playing Christmas music already back in right after Halloween. She'll try to, and I'm like, nope, not happening.
Not happening. Not in this house.
Happening. I'm not being a Scrooge. I'm just saying.
The Pilgrims worked too hard for this.
Yeah.
No, Kayla. I think Kayla's had our Christmas tree up for 3 weeks already.
Yeah, I was gonna say I noticed that. I walked in here and it kind of looked like Christmas kind of exploded upstairs in the living room.
I don't know about that. So whatever. We put up the Christmas lights outside like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she had said, "Oh, I'm not going to turn them on yet, but while the weather's nice, you know, let's put them up." Well, heck, we put them up outside in the freaking rain. It was raining. It was cold. It was. Oh man, I was so pissed off.
That's why I don't. That's why Emily just hangs them by herself now.
Well,
If she needs me to come out and hold the ladder every once in a while, I'll hold the ladder.
as far as I'm concerned, we're just leaving these buggers up until next year.
That's right.
Yep, they're icicle lights.
Yep,
They'll blend in.
They turn into Valentine's Day lights and then Easter lights and
Yep.
got it all covered. But yeah, you know, Christmas. It is hard to start thinking about Christmas gifts and like ideas of what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
And finally, you know, I guess we've done a lot of talking here, not about fishing. I think the first 8 minutes here, and I don't even know if we've mentioned fishing.
We talk about rapidas.
Oh yeah. This is a fishing podcast. Come on.
That's right.
No, but so with Christmas around the corner, Matt, is there any fishing items on your Christmas list?
There always is. You know, you just can't, like you said, can't go wrong with gift cards. That's always the easy standby. I'll end up using that for fishing equipment, but I just like, if people are looking to get me anything, just little terminal tackle things like that, or lures, and
Yep.
you know,
Yeah,
I'll use it all.
Right. No, I don't know. I'm really kind of intrigued by some of these lithium flasher batteries. You know, whether it be Dakota Lithium or Amped Outdoors, or I don't know what other brands there are. I guess I don't really give a rip what brand it is, whatever's the best price. Is Dakota Lithium still going?
Yeah,
Are they?
I think so.
I know they weren't at the Ice Institute.
They weren't at the Ice Institute this year, but I'm pretty positive they're still going.
All right,
pretty strong and everything.
Can't imagine that they wouldn't be.
I just think that there's more companies kind of starting to pop up and
right.
start
They were the
developing
one
stuff.
there for a little while.
Right.
I was really kind of thinking maybe we should get a lithium battery, you know, like an Amped Outdoors or a Dakota Lithium. Get one of them people on the podcast, because I really don't know anything about lithium batteries, and maybe most of our listeners do. I mean, I know that they're lighter weight. I know that they're supposed to do better in the cold. I know that they're
Right.
supposed to last longer, but I'd really like to maybe dig into some of the technology around that. Something different.
What's the difference between when you start looking at batteries? There is like differences between them. Not only
Price.
well, the price for sure. I mean, you're always going to pay for higher quality ones and stuff like that. But just like even for open water fishing, the batteries that you run in your boat. I mean, there's differences there.
Yep.
Too. So
yeah, I don't know. That's something that is on my Christmas list, and it's something that I'd like to figure out a little bit more about. I'm sure I could do some reading, but I'm a little bit too lazy to do a bunch of reading on something like that. We'll just call them and make an episode out of the deal.
That's right. We'll let them explain it.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to read something and then explain it to somebody. As weird as it sounds, being a teacher.
No, I believe that. I believe that
I'm
100%.
a PE teacher.
No, the other thing that I kind of been looking into is some sort of dead stick setup, whether it be a Clam Arctic Warrior or one of those iFish Pros. Last year was the first year that I kind of started trying to run some tip-ups, and I've never caught a fish on a tip-up. Last year I dropped a minnow down like up at Ponset once, and a couple times over at Okoboji. I'd put one 10 yards outside of my shack and drop a minnow down a foot off the bottom. And I was always kind of hoping, whether it just be a bass or a northern or a walleye or anything. I was hoping to catch something on a tip-up, but I never have, and I don't know. It's just something that kind of intrigues me. Why not let something fish for you when you don't really have to work for it?
Right. Especially in the wintertime when you can have more than one rod out.
Right. So, I would like to explore some of those options, and with the seesaw rod from Cold Snap that I'll be running this year, I'd like to try to put that to work the way it's designed to, and do something along those lines. One of those Okuma bait feeder reels, I'd like one of them, and those are all products here that we've mentioned under $100. So
yeah,
whether you get gift cards or whether you get $20, and you want to put it towards some fishing items, all three of those, if anyone's interested, something any budget can handle.
Right, and for a lot of people too, maybe they're just getting into it. Like say ice fishing this year, like Stu the Noob.
Stu the Noob is going all out. He's just whooping up on buying product.
That's right. I mean, and
I actually heard that the new DGR edition is just to house all Stu the Noob's ice fishing equipment that he's got to hide from his wife. That's the new big DGR edition.
You better get spending.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll do it.
All right, as long as we get to use some of it.
Yeah, I'm down with that. No, sorry for cutting you off.
No, but I just, there's a lot of combos that are nice ice fishing combos. That's the nice thing about ice fishing is that it's not as, I don't want to say expensive as open water fishing, but it's a little bit more, the price point on it is a little lesser.
Right,
you don't have to spend as much, so it is a little bit. I mean, you're obviously going to spend money if you want to get some type of flasher or an auger and a shack, but the nice thing about those things is once you have them, you have them.
Right. I am interested in possibly jumping up to a FLX 28.
Are you?
Yep. I think this might be the year that I finally do it and bite the bullet and jump up. I was actually watching one of our past guests, Sobe, on one of his videos the other day, and he was targeting, I think, it was a bunch of crappies, and it had like a bottom 6 foot zoom, on one side of it, and I don't know, the weed mode, and I don't know, it just has a lot of features, and I wouldn't mind jumping up to that. I for sure would not sell my FL20 just because that thing's done me right. So
well, yeah, they're great. You can't go wrong with any of the Vexilar units, or
any of the units.
Yeah, Markham. I mean, I actually was looking at maybe getting an ice deucer for my Helix 5.
Oh, really?
And just have it along just in case somebody else comes along fishing with us. And
and then you could mark GPS.
Then that's the big thing, is then that way I can have the GPS maybe mounted on like a Gen shuttle or something like that, on a Gen's box. And
there's a lot of people doing that nowadays. So
I might as well use it. I mean, I have it on the front of the boat for the summertime. I might as well get some use out of it during the winter, instead of, a lot of times when we go out and we have lake maps and with the humps and everything like that too.
Right. Nope. So yeah, those items that we've listed. The other thing, if I do get any gift cards, I want to finally jump up to a float suit this year.
Yeah.
I've been eyeing them for a while, and I don't know how old my suit is, 6 years or something like that. But god dang it, it's still a really good suit. I don't know.
Right.
I'd feel bad parting with it, but I don't know if I could jump up to a float suit. There's been, last year, me and you out on East Okoboji, and then the year before we went out pretty late ice out on Lake Pahoja, and when you're walking out to the main ice and you're popping through and you never know exactly how deep you are, it just, the peace of mind would be nice
Right,
to have
nice.
it. You've ran a float suit now for a year or two, and I don't know, I should have one. Cheap insurance at the end of the day.
That's right. And the nice thing about them too is how warm and comfortable and fishable they are to have on, and you can sit outside a little bit longer and
Right.
whole hop with those on.
Yeah, you don't ever know that you're wearing a life jacket per se. I mean, it
Right.
just feels like a regular old suit. I guess I've never personally wore one,
Yeah,
so
it just-
I'm not going to sit here and make assumptions. But
Right.
I guess I'm just going to sit here and make assumptions.
And they're waterproof, everything like that. I mean, anybody that's like, if you wear old coveralls and things like that, they get the job done. Don't get me wrong and everything, but those float suits are definitely a nice item to have.
Right. And, what the big difference I feel like from a Carhartt coverall is, like us, when we're doing a lot of hole hopping, getting down on our knees and whatnot,
Right.
when there's wet slush around the hole and you pop down on your knees, you do it for a while and your knees are going to get wet. I used to run a Carhartt suit, and, after a while my jeans start getting wet, and especially if it happens to get cold towards evening.
Yep.
That's just one more spot that it's like, whoo, man.
And the big thing is that they're windproof too.
Windproof,
so,
yeah,
I mean,
no
that
doubt
doesn't. I mean, there's sometimes when we're out there where it's almost too warm to have them on.
Right. So, year recap. Last week was our 1 year show with Dave Gens. If you haven't listened to it, that is a banger. You better go listen to it.
That was such a cool interview.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Such a cool guy.
We put so much stock into that interview that I almost forgot that we had to do another show again this week. And I guess I'll just let the cat out of the bag right now. I think we're 17 and a half minutes in here, guys, and we're not going to have a guest
We're
today.
your guests for tonight.
Yep, my guest is Matt Deitch. His guest is Scott Sturman, and
With the holidays and everything like
Right.
that, it's hard to get people. People have plans and try to
Right.
line something up. Sometimes it's just good just to us two sit down and
right, and we did the first 30 episodes, just me and you.
Sure.
I guess we had a couple on location guests, if you will, and whatever. So yeah, no, it feels good to kind of get back and do this again once. I mean, and I'm not saying 5 weeks down the road that we won't do this again, but yeah, no, it was kind of cool. It is kind of cool now to not worry about plugging in the phone and everything else and
right.
getting timing right. Worked for me, worked for you. Let's get her in. So,
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. A lot of cool guests. We appreciate all of them coming on, and
we hit 1,000 Facebook likes on the page.
sweet.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, like on our one year week. So that was pretty cool. Who is what interview? God, I don't want to say who's your favorite guest. I don't want to say, what interview was your favorite. But, I mean, obviously Dave Gens, it's going to rank right up there. But I don't know, what interview is, say, maybe most memorable or...
Well, that's a good question. I haven't really
thought about that.
Reflected on it. Each one of them has their highlights and their cool parts to them. I don't know. It was kind of cool it was neat talking with Greg Vance.
Yeah. Yep.
About what the bass fishing in Troy Dede, just their experience of fishing in the Bassmaster Classic was
Right.
kind of neat.
And both of us are bass tournament anglers, so
Right.
to connect with them on and talk bass and whatever, and especially two guys that have competed at the highest level of bass fishing.
Right. It'd be like if this was like a sports podcast interviewing somebody that played in the Super Bowl.
Right. Right. Exactly. That night that we went and interviewed Troy Dede down there downtown Sioux Falls, and the river was just ripping, roaring. Right, we were right downstream from Falls Park, and golly, that was crazy. We had a ton of rain, and some diversion, I think, of the Big Sioux River comes right there by where Troy works at Raven Industries. And is it Raven Industries?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
And they kind of have that cool outlook over the Big Sioux that sticks out from the building, and the river's running right underneath you.
It was crazy.
That was pretty wild.
That was cool. I'd like to interview Chad Lorith again.
Right, we got to get Lorith back on it.
Yeah, just not only just because he's a knucklehead, but
we have a lot of fun with Chad.
Right, when we interviewed him, we were still pretty fresh into this whole podcast deal, and we just sat down and started talking. Now, obviously, you guys don't see us because we're no longer doing an actual YouTube video, but we've got a little cheat sheet next to us, of questions that we're supposed to ask, and, this and that, things that we think of before the interview. When you get actually talking to somebody, you kind of deer in the headlights, it's like, holy moly. And, then if we got the little cheat sheet on the notebook that we look over at, and it's like, oh, yeah, this is what we were going to talk about. Yeah. Sometimes I get so caught up in that stinking cheat sheet that I, cut people off. I asked Travis Nielsen what your 3 favorite lakes are. He answers one, and then I'm off on the next question. Sorry about that, Travis.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah.
He understood.
Yeah, I don't even know. Maybe he didn't even catch it, or I'm sure he probably did. Was probably like, what's that dude's problem? He must not have liked my first lake or something.
Thinking about like people that we've interviewed. It was fun interviewing my grandpa and my dad.
Oh, that was awesome. That was so cool.
And then having Grady on here was fun.
Yeah. We've had Ramrod a couple times. Who else have we? Stu the Noob came in one time, filled in for you.
Right.
So, yeah, no, it was really a cool first year, especially, like we've said before, we had no clue what we were doing when we got into it, and to look back is really pretty crazy.
Still haven't got Jeremy K on.
Yeah, he's gonna come. Jeremy K. Golly, there was a problem like with sponsorships. He wasn't paying us, so we didn't mention his name the last 4 weeks. But he's paying us again, so we're gonna mention him again.
Back on that payroll.
Yeah,
on that Jeremy K pairoll, that thick roll.
He's got a thick wallet, and we'll take a little.
Call him the rubber band man fairies.
Holy
hundos.
Straight hundies. Nope. So yeah, no. If you guys got anybody that you want to hear over the next few weeks or whatever, shoot us a message and say, hey, I'd like to hear from them, or I'd like to hear somebody in this line of the fishing industry.
Yeah, if there's like something you want to hear about,
right.
I've never been to this spot. Right now everything's hot with Red Lake because it's everybody's going up there. The walleye bite early ice all the time is really good. If you want to hear something about that, we can try to get somebody from up there on here to talk. And
right, yeah. If you've got a fishing trip coming down the pipe, this winter, and you're like, golly, I'd kind of like to know about, I don't know, some lake, we'll try to get somebody on. Right. I mean, I'm not afraid to send somebody a message and see what we can get lined up. So yeah, if you've got that, shoot us a message. Speaking of trips coming down the pipe, Matt, what's the plans for you this winter? I guess when I ask you what your plans are, it's probably my plans too, because we end up fishing most of the time together. Right. But
and that's the fun part about it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the great aspect about fishing, and especially ice fishing. It seems like you go ice fishing with other people, with buddies more than
when it's not just who you can fit in your boat.
Right.
I mean, hey, 12 guys want to go? Sure. We'll just take one more pickup.
Yep.
Right. Got any place you really want to go?
I really want to get up into the Alexandria area and do some ice fishing. Having summer fished up there a lot. I'd like to take a weekend and go up there and do it, or even further up, maybe in the Bemidji area, or definitely get the pond set again. I never got to get up there last year, so
right.
What about you? What some of your big ones that you want to do?
Well, I guess every single time this question is asked, the Black Hills.
Right.
I want to get back out to the Black Hills. I did catch a lake trout last year, but I'd like to, make it a little bit bigger lake trout this year. Go out there and try to specifically target them a little bit more. I have an absolute riot catching rainbow trout. I have a riot catching the little, brook trout or whatever. They're such a pretty fish. They're aggressive. They're fun to catch. If you mark them, you're catching them. And that's one thing about the Black Hills. I've said it a million times, and I'll say it again. If you mark a fish out there, you catch a fish out there. Like, it is so much different than over here. And you know, maybe not as far as like lake trout goes, but golly, I mean, if you mark a rainbow trout, he's biting. Like, it's just that simple. And who knows, maybe I just haven't fished out there often enough to, you know, get turned down, or maybe I'm just such a good jigger that...
Yeah, little combination of all.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'd like to get up to Devil's Lake, maybe fish with Taylor Millantine, and,
yeah, that
you
would
know,
be
try
fun.
that. I don't know, always on my bucket list is Lake Winnipeg.
That would be fun.
I don't know.
Catch a big old greenback up
Right.
there.
So those would be my bucket list destinations. Do you got a bucket list fish for this winter, Matt?
I'd like to catch a perch over 14 inches.
Catch a perch over 14.
Yeah, it's been a couple years since done that. I forget how crazy those things look.
Wow.
You get used to catching such like the smaller perch around here, and when you like get up into South Dakota, and the first time you hook into one, it's like, oh, this feels like a good fish, and then when you get it to the hole, you're just like,
Fills up your 6-inch hole.
It's like, this is a state record, isn't it? And you get it out, and it's like, you know, just over 14 inches. And
right.
It's just crazy to think, like, those ones that out in Lake Cascade, Idaho, that some of those guys catch that are 15, 16 inches.
Right, that'd be crazy. I'd like to get on a hot crappie bite. Mm-hmm. Like, not just catch a random crappie from time to time, like to actually get on a crappie bite.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever in my whole entire life been on a crappie bite. Like, you know, fishing bluegills or fishing yellow bass, and you occasionally, you know, at the end of the day, you end up with, you know, eight crappies total or something like that. But I've never specifically been on a crappie bite, and that is something, you know, that I would like. I'd like to catch big northern through the ice just because I like that type of fight.
Kind of like a couple of those ones that Euler caught.
Yeah,
last week,
Dirty Dog,
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Oakley's been messaging me. Cal, he's already smoking some nice Lakers and rainbows out there. Dirty Dog.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to. It's always fun getting new people out there. It's going to be fun getting Stuart out there and fishing with him.
Right.
I came across that picture that we took on East Lake last year when it was like you and myself
and Blair
and Grady and Ramsey, and
yeah, that was a fun day.
Yeah, it was just kind of a cool pick. And Eric was Eric?
Eric had just left. He had to leave
right.
early. Like, we literally, like, Ritter showed up and Eric left. And
Ritter came with me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that day we met you guys over there because I pheasant hunted in the morning.
Yeah, no, Ritter left. So, yeah, blah blah blah. But no, I've talked to Matt about this too. Some weekend when we're over there on Okoboji Fishing, we're going to throw it out on the Facebook page. Hey, this is where we're fishing, you know, whether it be Tri-Boji, whether it be East Okoboji. And we're just going to throw it out there. If anyone wants to come out and meet us and, you know, fish alongside of us, I mean...
Drill a hole by us. And
we're not talking like, oh, wow, yeah, we'll sign autographs afterwards. Like, no, you know, just to meet new people and to sit around and, you know, have fun and BS and, you know, hole hop around. And I don't know. I think it'd be a lot of fun if there's anyone that's listening, you know, that's over in that area. It would just be something different, you know, and meet new people and fish with them.
That's right. They just kind of have like a meet up, go fishing, bounce off ideas, learn from each other.
Right. Just one of those deals.
Get some kids out there. If anybody's got any kids that want to get out there and do some fishing, it's always fun to have those guys out there.
I'm throwing out an invite to a few guys in town who have younger kids, you know, that you know, whether it be at church or whether it be down at the grocery store, you know, oh, yeah, you and Matt been out fishing lately? Yeah, you know, whatever. Just come out ice fishing with us sometime. So, yeah, if there's anyone listening that has a young kid, I've got equipment and Matt's got equipment. We'd be more than happy to take somebody, you know, if the weekend works out, obviously, you know. Sometimes things just don't work out. But, yeah, don't be afraid to message us, and we'd be happy to do that.
Or we can also, if you really want to get after it, we know some guides over there that we can get you in touch with. Right,
absolutely. And that's going to be your better deal. I mean, if you want to fish with us, then we will do that. We're not teachers. I mean, I guess Matt is a teacher, but You get what I mean. We're not going to guide you out there, but if you just want to fish alongside of us,
That's
it
always
is what
just,
it is.
it's always fun to chat with people.
Right, meet new people. So
No, that's it. It's looking forward to the ice
for sure.
season. That's for sure. I mean, we thought we were going to get it here early, and
Yeah, I think 2 more weeks, and it's going to be the regular week or two after Thanksgiving, and that's when it always seems to happen. And I think that's when it's going to happen again this year.
right, we need some cold. At least we didn't have ice on the lakes before we got all this snow the other
Right.
day. I mean, I think I saw that the lakes had like 8
inches
or something
right?
like that.
Yep, that was on Wednesday, the day before. No, Tuesday, 2 days before
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
Tuesday into
So
Wednesday. Yeah.
big news in the bass fishing world.
Big news in the bass fishing world. Exciting news.
The best
awesome news.
Gerald Swindle, Brandon Polinick
Coming back to bass.
coming back to bass. They said FU MLF.
They retired and did the buyout, and
Is that what they had? Did they have to pay something?
I think they had to do
it,
a buyout. Kind of what I saw from the articles. It may not be true, but I think that's kind of one of the deals. But did you also see who MLF got?
Brian Thrift
And Dudley.
Yep.
So I was kind of hoping Thrift would come to bass.
I think that John Cox was going to fish.
Both. He
Yep,
wanted to do
try
both.
to fish both. I don't know
What
what's going on there, but yeah, whatever.
And Scott Martin is fishing the opens to try to qualify for the bass
Right. That is cool.
Elite Series.
Yep. Leaving the FLW tour.
And see, Swindle and Polinick they got legend
Legend status.
Status,
Yeah, that they were
exempt.
able to get right back into the Elite Series because they had both won an AOI title.
Yep, right. And that's
So-
cool that they do that stuff for those guys. I mean, to me, they deserve to be in the Elite
Right.
Series, and
I had heard there was a little murmuring that Iaconelli was going to retire.
that's
That's not the first time that's been told, but
but right. That's kind of crazy to think of because wasn't like MLF kind of his and Duckett's brainchild at first,
yeah, it could
like
be.
the original MLF part of it. But I don't know.
I've said it for a long time. The grass is not greener on that side.
No,
and
and
I think this is, the
Polinick on his Instagram put a post on there and just put something like, you can't deny what the heart says or something like that. And I mean, it's just true. Ever since they were younger, they've had the 5 fish, and I don't like how the one series makes it sound like the other series is killing fish and
Right,
hard on.
right.
I mean, they do all. I mean, you got to be part of it at the Bass Open this year.
Right.
Of just how much conservation goes into keeping those fish alive.
I mean, it was a
I
big
mean-
deal. There was, how many cattle tanks? And there was a guy running around with blocks of ice constantly to make sure that water was cool because it was a hot day.
Right.
They had pontoons that brought these fish back out there. And, I mean, I think I read somewhere one time it's like a 98.5%
Survival
rate. So,
yeah. And who's to say like in these MLF style tournaments where it's catch, weigh, and release, where they're hooking fish and it might have got part of the gill or something like that, and they let it go, and that fish dies later on. I mean, it's just
well, especially because they're trying to do it so stinking fast.
Right.
That, I mean, they're not taking care. That bass angler gets docked points by bringing in a fish that is, even close to dead.
Right.
I mean, if it's not looking right, they consider it a dead fish. So it's in the angler's best interest to make sure that he takes care of his fish. In MLF, it's in the angler's best interest to get that thing off the hook and throw it back in there as fast as what he can because he can go and catch another one.
I just look and I just go back to the weigh-in deal. I mean, just the
That's the
hoopla
fans.
behind it. That's what it's there for. Is for the fans, and that's what these major things are to the fans. I go back to the Red Crest with Edwin Evers, him winning it, compared to the Classic this year.
Ott Defoe.
With Ott Defoe winning it. I mean,
You're in a stadium packed and people are
his family's
screaming,
there,
yeah.
the emotion, just
Edwin Evers wins
everything.
the Red Crest and he sits on a boat with his marshal.
And he's just kind of like, wow, he gets to call his wife and kids and be like, I just won it, he gets to. I mean,
You're not bringing anyone on the stage. You're not driving a truck and trailer through,
right. And then they have
thousands of people.
They have their post game, show. It's just so hard to get into. I mean,
no one understands the rules, man.
no,
Like,
and
I mean,
like a week-long tournament.
lightning round, knockout round, final, I don't know, something round. I don't know. Dang thing's a joke.
I try to. It's like I enjoy Mark Daniels Jr. and he like all of a sudden is like, yeah, the tournament starts tomorrow. Oh, sweet. And you like, so you just kind of see how he's doing. It's like you don't see his name. Well, I don't fish until Thursday,
right?
Or I don't fish till the second day, and it's like, whoa. Okay, what do you mean? You know,
well, and everybody's not out on the water at the same time, so
No.
there's different conditions.
Right.
One guy can have nice, a light wind and whatever, and the next guy's out there in a thunderstorm. I don't know, man. That whole entire deal. I feel like I'm scooping snow. My heart rate's getting up there.
It's cool to see those guys come back, and you've called it. I mean, ever since the Open in lacrosse, you got some insider information. Back then, you came up to me and says, "Yeah, it sounds like Swindle isn't. It sounds like he's going to be coming back to Bass." And he was there at that tournament fishing and everything
Right.
like that.
Yeah,
so.
it was a boat mechanic that told me. He's like, "Hey, dude, Swindle's, pretty hush-hush about it, but he said, he's coming back to Bass." Apparently, MLF breached a contract. They didn't pay the anglers what they had originally said, and I don't know, the tournament, I don't know. I don't even know. I'm not going to sit here and broadcast to hundreds of people some information that I don't even know 100% about, but the guy said Swindle wanted back into Bass. He's back into Bass. It's good news. Palaniuk, that's
was
two huge names.
Right. That one was the one that surprised me the most, was the Palaniuk one. I was just like, wow.
Yep. And who knows, maybe in the coming days,
No, I think that
they had until...
that because the roster came out, and that's how everybody found out.
Oh, okay.
The MLF roster came out, and those two weren't on it. And everybody was kind of like, well, wait a minute. And then that's when they announced that they were coming back. A few days prior to them announcing that, Swindle had announced that he was fishing the Opens.
Right, I saw that him and Trey Swindle were going to be fishing the Central Opens, and yeah, he must be still going to be fishing the Central Opens, but he's also going to be fishing the Elite Series, and that is good news for everybody.
It is. It's good news for everybody.
100 days till the Bassmaster Classic.
That's crazy to think. Isn't it, though? I mean...
I think it's awesome, because that just means that we're less than 100 days away from fantasy fishing.
Right. We gotta double down on this issue. We can't let Jeremy K win it again.
No. Hey, I got
We
some.
still gotta get
I
him
got
a trophy.
some. Yeah, I got some mugs coming. I got a whole bunch of tumblers coming.
Right,
I
yeah.
bought a 30-pack,
Ooh, a 30-pack.
30 rack, not Keystone lights. We're talking 30 tumblers. They're sweet. They're like a gun. I don't know. I shouldn't say gunmetal gray. I think they said Quicksilver or something like that. We're going to put some really cool Midwest Angler stickers on there that has the states of the Midwest on it. Nice fishermen. So if you're interested in those, I think they're going to be $15. Yep, they're going to be $15. Let us know. We'll have them here next week. So yeah, with that, I don't really have anything else to say.
No,
I got into Clear Lake Bait and Tackle.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. You stopped
this
in there
last week. Yeah,
talked to our former guest.
Yeah, went into Clear Lake Bait and Tackle, and yeah, that was pretty cool. Talked with Kevin Paul, picked up a couple of them jointed pinhead minnows that they have in the yellow bass looking one. So yeah, I'll be kind of pumped up to try them out on East Okoboji, see if some of the walleyes down there are interested in munching on little yellow bass. So
and the yellow bass will eat them.
Oh yeah, them yellow bass they'd eat about anything. Put a dead skunk down there and they'd probably nip at it.
Yeah, you could take your jig and run it through Ramsey's hair and put it down there. They might even bite that.
No, they wouldn't. No, they would not. All right, that's it.
Episode 50.
Episode 50. See you next week. Later.